What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by LOCKCITY. It's Wighty here today. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a good start to the weekend by the time you get around to listening to this. Today we have episode 200 already of the JuiceBox, which is going to be, of course, a continuation for the CS2 Blast Open Fall closed qualifier as of right now, soon into the final in London, UK. So, of course, first we'll do a quick review of results. Games are still ongoing. We still do have FaZe and Na'Vi on right now, but we left that off of parlays, so we'll do a little bit of a recap here. Unfortunately, Ecstatic did not come to play today, so Ecstatic dropped the ball on our plus 1.5 map spread. M80 took care of business against Virtus Pro there. They ended up actually winning the match outright. And then Gamer Legion, they did take the map as expected off of Vitality. So we did go 1-1 across yesterday's parlays. Of course, up a total of 0.40 units. This was a 2.20 times your money play, so we ended up profiting $40 essentially because we lost 2 units here. Looking forward to tomorrow and kind of overview of how things are looking right now for the tournament. Again, of course, FaZe and Na'Vi is still ongoing. It looks like FaZe is going to win this 2-0. They took the first map, and they're up right now on Dust 2. Everything in terms of action today has been Group A. We, of course, saw Vitality beat Gamer Legion. They advanced to the upper final, where they'll meet the winner of FaZe and Na'Vi. And then we saw M80 beat Virtus Pro. They will play the loser of FaZe and Na'Vi on Sunday. And then Fnatic beat Ecstatic. So they're here on Sunday. They play Gamer Legion, and the winner will advance to the lower final. For tomorrow, we have some Group B action. Firstly, at 6 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have Imperial and Liquid. At 8:30, we are going to have FlyQuest and Legacy. At 11 o'clock, we got MOUZ and G2. And then lastly, at 1:30, we got My Spirit Boys and FURIA. So in terms of what we're looking at for tomorrow, I'm actually playing 4 singles for tomorrow. So I'll go through and we'll talk about each of them and why I picked each of them. Each of them are around double up on your money. We got some 1.9s in here. We got some 2.2s in here. So actually 3 1.9s and 1 2.2. But nonetheless, we'll talk about each of these plays and kind of just do them chronologically here. So the first one, Imperial. I'm going to be taking Imperial on the money line against Liquid. I do agree with public consensus. I know this is mostly Brazilians. On paper, Liquid should probably win this matchup. I think we're headed towards some Liquid roster changes here. Liquid has now lost 3 in a row. Mind you, 2 of them were against Vitality, so obviously understandable. They pushed Vitality to overtime, and I think all 4 of these maps, at least 3 of the 4, but it could have even been all 4 based on memory. I'm not going to click into them right now, and then they lost to G2 the other day. On the Imperial side of things, they looked pretty good against MOUZ. They were able to take a map off of MOUZ. Obviously, regionally, they're very strong. They beat teams like Fluxo, Bestia, Audix, so on and so forth. The last time that these teams matched up was all the way back in March, so not entirely relevant, and one of these maps was Anubis, which obviously, as y'all know, is no longer in the map pool, but Liquid won Dust 2, Imperial won Nuke. If we look at what's going to happen up here, obviously Imperial is going to ban Ancient, Liquid's going to ban Overpass. In terms of what Imperial could take for a map selection, I would be inclined to think it's obviously going to be Nuke or Inferno. If I were them, I would take Inferno. I don't know on the Liquid side of things. They're probably just going to end up going with Mirage. I could see them maybe taking Train because they've been playing Train a lot recently. But give me Imperial here on the money line. I think Imperial has the better map pool. I think Imperial has the better form. I think they played MOUZ well. I liked what I saw out of these guys. That first matchup, and I think they do have what it takes to take Liquid down. Liquid tends to fumble when they're in big positions. I don't necessarily trust them at all tomorrow. So first pick that I'm going to take here as an underdog is going to be Imperial on the money line, 2.20 times your money. I'm going 2 units, pays 4.4. Next one up that we're going to talk about is going to be FlyQuest and Legacy. So I'm taking the over 2.5 maps. Sorry, just before I slide over. And reason being, so if we're looking here at FlyQuest and Legacy, I think FlyQuest is obviously going to take Dust 2. Legacy has a weak Dust 2. FlyQuest probably bans... Legacy has played all 7 maps here. I likely see them banning Overpass. They would have first ban. FlyQuest then probably bans Train. Legacy, I would assume, goes into Inferno. Could potentially be Mirage just because FlyQuest's win rate is so abysmal on Mirage. But Inferno or Mirage on the Legacy side of things, I think they win that pretty easily. On the FlyQuest side of things, I would say almost 100% they're going to take Dust 2. Legacy is weak on Dust 2. It's also FlyQuest's strongest map in the map pool. I would imagine, again, almost 100% FlyQuest is going to take Dust 2. I like each of these teams to win their respective map picks. I think this is going to be really close, a very even matchup here. So for that reason being, I'm going over 2.5 total maps played, 2 units, 1.92 times your money, 3.84 total units in terms of payout. Next one here is going to be MOUZ and G2. This one took me a while. I kind of went back and forth on a couple of things. Ultimately, so I think G2 should get first map pick. Obviously, they're the lower seed here. MOUZ usually lets the lower seed take that first map. In terms of what we can expect, if I were G2, honestly, I would take Ancient. I know they've been playing a lot of Inferno. MOUZ's Inferno, I don't know, leaves a lot to be desired. If I were G2, I would play it smart. I would take Ancient. MOUZ is going to ban Dust 2. G2 is going to ban Overpass. MOUZ probably takes Train. G2's Train isn't that great. I could see MOUZ taking Mirage. Obviously, they play a lot of Mirage. They love taking Mirage. And G2's Mirage isn't that great either. Plus, they've only played it 3 times in the last 3 months. On the G2 side of things, again, with them having the first map pick, I think they take Ancient. Regardless of what they take, MOUZ is obviously a top team in the world. MOUZ is going to be competitive. MOUZ did not look good against Imperial here. They're kind of on a downswing. They lost to Spirit, obviously understandable, top 2 team in the world. And then they lost to Falcons here, which was not a great loss for them. Both of these teams obviously have lost to each of those 2 teams recently. So we have some recent comps on either side. I do think this is going to be close. I think G2 is going to keep it competitive, especially on their map pick. What I'm going with for this one is just going to be map 1, over 21.5 total rounds. So we need each side to win at least 9, 13-9 or higher, 13-10, 13-11. Any overtime score obviously would cash this, but over 21.5 total rounds for map 1, MOUZ and G2. Last one up, kind of sketchy, is going to be Spirit, -1.5 on the map spread. So Spirit's playing FURIA. Obviously, cause for concern here is going to be Train. So Spirit, we haven't seen them play Train a lot. What we've seen recently, so FURIA was able to take Train against Spirit back in May. So that's the one red flag in terms of the -1.5 map spread. Any other map here, I think Spirit could win relatively convincingly. Spirit obviously does not play Inferno. FURIA does not play Overpass. Spirit would wipe them on Overpass. Spirit would win Ancient. Train, again, probably the only sketchy one. Again here, FURIA won this convincingly. This was in May. Spirit still had Magics at that time. If we look at what Spirit has done on Train recently, they've only played it once in the last 3 months. But that was in June, about a month after the FURIA loss, and they absolutely crushed Na'Vi on it. Mind you, it's Na'Vi on Train, so, I mean, not that great. But 13-3, so a very, very convincing win there. I do think Spirit could win Train. I do expect FURIA to pick Train. Because, again, they can't take Inferno here. It's one of the maps that they like to play the most. I would be very surprised if they take Dust 2. If FURIA takes Dust 2, I think this is going to be a very quick 2-0 for Spirit. I expect FURIA to take Train. And, again, that's where the sketchiness more or less lies in our -1.5 map spread, because we need Spirit to win Train. Spirit's obviously going to win their map pick, but I do trust them to win a close Train. I liked what they did against Na'Vi on Train. I think going back all the way to May, that might give FURIA a little bit of false confidence in terms of picking Train. I expect Spirit to win it. Spirit -1.5 map spread is going to be our final pick there. So again, we're going to go with these 4 singles for tomorrow. These are going to be the four plays that I'm running. It's going to be the 4 plays that end up on the CS2 best bets sheet. We're going to go 4-0 here tomorrow. Let me know if you're tailing in the comments. Let me know what your favorite pick is. If you hate any of these, by all means, let me know in the comments which one you hate. But look forward to cashing all 4 of these tomorrow. Subscribe if you like the content here. Give us a like. Give us a follow depending on the platform that you are listening. And I'll see you tomorrow for some more CS. Take care.